Well, hello everyone. This is Raphael Garcia back after quite a long hiatus from the MMA Ratings. Been out been busy the last couple weeks. So yeah, I haven't been doing a show. Haven't I think this is our first show in 2 weeks or so, and for whatever reason, things have been a little busy. But we're coming back to talk about UFC 186 and some other things going on in the world of combat sports. We definitely have a busy weekend coming up this weekend, but we'll touch upon that obviously later on in the show. So I wanted to start off immediately talking about last night's fight at UFC 186 with Demetrius Johnson and Kyoji Horiguchi. Demetrius Johnson pulled out another late win as he stopped his Japanese competitor at 4 minutes and 59 seconds in the fifth round via armbar. He was basically winning the fight, dominating the bout from start to finish. Horiguchi did land some good shots, but they weren't enough to slow down Mighty Mouse to where he could get the win in any shape or form. But Johnson was able to basically control the belt. Looking at all the scorecards that were available, he was winning every round. He would have taken if he would have taken 50-45 um, score exactly. So it would have been a one-sided affair once again for the man from the state of Washington. This is his sixth straight title defense since winning the belt back in 2012, and still, this guy does not get as much respect as he should within the sport. There are some reports coming out that there were people leaving during the main event and not sticking around to watch him compete, which is the same thing that happened, I think, at UFC 174, where people were leaving as he fought Ali Bagatinov. And, it's pretty sad. I just listened to some post-fight analysis about the event, and they were always calling him, talking about how he's not exciting, how he's not entertaining, and I find it interesting that people just can't I don't know, almost can't even really understand what they're watching whenever this guy's competing. If this was Chris Weidman fighting the same way that DJ was fighting, I guarantee you people wouldn't have those complaints. Same thing with John Jones, same thing with Ronda Rousey. If anyone else was competing the same way, people wouldn't be complaining. But since it's Mighty Mouse, since it's flyweights, people are always going to have a problem with his performances. And it's not like he isn't finishing guys. I mean, this is he's finished four of his last five opponents. This is his second one in a row that he stopped, and he's doing it in different ways. I mean, he knocked out Joseph Benavidez. He submitted John Moraga in the fifth round. He submitted Chris Jeriaso in the second. Obviously he tapped Horiguchi last night. So he's doing things his own way, and he's winning fights. That's the whole point. He's winning fights, and he's winning fights consistently. Someone asked, this leading into this fight this week, he's been asking, a lot of just solid questions when people in the media are asking him how does he feel about not being a star. And I think one of his big statements I saw this past week is when he said, well, what should I do? What else can I do? He's going out there winning fights, so what else does he need to do in order to be considered a star? Like, does he need to be outlandish like Conor McGregor? Does he need to go out and get in trouble like a John Jones, with the DUI and the cocaine issues? Does he need to say inflammatory things like a Chael Sonnen or a Dana White? What does he need to do to be considered a star rather than going in there and just winning? It's kind of along the same lines as what people used to complain about with GSP, but GSP was a star in the sport. He's still probably recognized as the biggest star that the sport has ever produced. So what is people's problem with Mighty Mouse and how he fights? I think he's definitely on my list right now. He is number three in the pound rankings behind Aldo and Jones, and that should be unquestioned. He's fighting more often than any other champion. He's finishing fights, and he's fighting the best people that the UFC are putting in front of him. People are clamoring for a rematch with him and John Dodson, and that may come. John Dodson is set to fight Zach Wachowski at UFC 187, which is on the 23rd of this month. And if Johnson gets a win, especially if he knocks Wachowski out like he's been doing everybody else, then you can expect that rematch to be made. Johnson fought a very good fight after one of my favorite fights of 2013 when they fought in January of that year. I seriously think that was one of the better fights of the whole year. And Johnson took a split decision win. And a lot of people thought that Dotson may have won that fight. So looking, giving them the opportunity to rematch is going to be something that I look forward to seeing. I hope it does occur. But yeah, so if you have a problem with watching Mighty Mouse compete, now I don't know what to say to you. I just think that you're taking your frustration. I don't even want to use the word frustration, but you're kind of categorizing him based on his size and stature. The man, yes, he is 5'3". Yes, he fights at 125 pounds, but he is honestly one of the best fighters that you'll see in the sport today. There aren't any other complete mixed martial artists like him who can do everything that he does and do it consistently. Just the best men in his weight class. So hats off to Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. I am happy with what I saw, and I will definitely give you my money to fight again in the future. So speaking of that future, what is next for Mighty Mouse? I just put a piece up on Bleacher Report that looks at five potential fights that the UFC can plan for him, and obviously you have the Dodson fight still out there. You obviously had that rematch. I just spoke about that. Well, potentially maybe Zach McCoskey if he finds a way to beat John Dodson. Maybe that could be an interesting fight there as well. Henry Cejudo's out there. He is set to face Chico Camus at UFC 188 in Mexico City. That's a real big opportunity for him to become a star in the sport if he can go out there and get the win. Then you have to look at people like who else did I mention? There's one other fight that I mentioned in this piece, and I think it would be interesting to see if they would give Demetrius a chance to fight TJ Dillashaw in a super fight for the 135 title. I mean, you have to remember the last person to beat Mighty Mouse was Dominic Cruz when Johnson challenged him for the bantamweight strap. And a lot of that came from the fact that Mighty Mouse was just so much smaller than than Dominic Cruz at that point in time. Obviously, Cruz out with these injuries. Dillashaw is a little bit smaller than Cruz, and yeah, it would be interesting to see if Mighty Mouse can go in there and take a victory away from the Team Alpha Male champion. I wouldn't be so surprised if it happened. I think I would. Looking at the way that the two men fight, obviously, TJ is going to be the bigger man, but wouldn't, I wouldn't be surprised if Johnson was the favorite and if he walked out of there with a title. He's reigning over 125 as a emperor right now. No one's really going to be able to touch him. So what if they did convince him to move up to 135? What if he did start calling out the bantamweight champion for a super fight? I mean, hell, John Dotson's already doing it. Because remember, Dotson knocked out Dillashaw back in for I think it was Ultimate Fighter season 12, I believe maybe. When they were on Dotson and Dillashaw were on the show together, Dotson won that season by knocking out TJ. So Dotson's already calling him out. Why can't Johnson do the same thing? So perhaps there's some value there to make a super fight with those two guys. It's funny, the UFC always books them on pay-per-views together, and TJ's been injured twice. He got injured at UFC 174, so he got pulled him off of that card, and then UFC 186 as well. So pulling him off of these events, they wish they're supposed to link together. Maybe if Dillashaw can get by the front out and get by Henry Burrell, and like if Dominic Cruz is unable to come back still because of his injury problems, maybe they should think about if the fight, put it on Fox with Demetrius Johnson and TJ Dillashaw. I would definitely watch that fight. I know that would gain a lot of attention, and it would be an interesting bout for everyone to see. So you never know. There are some avenues that are still available for Mighty Mouse. Dana White talked during the post-fight press conference that he believes that Mighty Mouse will be an eventual champion, and I believe that as well. I think, or excuse me, an eventual star. And I think it'll be difficult, but it's not only the onus isn't only on the fighter, it's also on the promotion as well. So both sides need to figure out how they want to make this happen. Mighty Mouse has value in the sport. He doesn't have to necessarily make the leap to like movies such as Ronda Rousey has or something like that. But there needs to be a way that he can be branded into a star, and it's not just on the fighter's plate. That the manager needs to take a role in this, um, and the promotion does as well. So this is a partnership as well. All parties will benefit from him becoming a star, and it should be a multifaceted objective for everyone to achieve. So again, I'm going on a tangent here, but Mighty Mouse has a lot to offer the sport, and I think he deserves more respect than he's currently getting. Moving on down the card, the co-main event was Clinton Jackson and Fabio Maldonado. I wasn't too excited about this fight. Obviously, I was joking earlier in the night saying I wouldn't be surprised if Maldonado was going to take like a decision victory. I wouldn't have been shocked in any way at all. But obviously, he didn't do enough to get the win. Quentin walked out of there with a decision victory to welcome himself back into the UFC. Am I excited that he's back? No, not really. I really don't. I'm not going to use the word care, but Jackson's time at the top has kind of passed. It passed when John Jones stopped him not too long ago, and he's at this point now where he's just, he's just, I don't want to say he's on a master tour. He deserves the respect that he's received at this point in his career. He is a star. People know who he is. So, I think there are some freak show esque type fights that he could be booked in while he does other events and does other types of projects that he'd like to do at this point in his career. Do I think that he is going to challenge for the title at any point? No, but I could see him beating guys at the top of the division. I could see him beating an Anthony Johnson, an Alexander Gustafsson, and definitely not a Daniel Cormier. Now, maybe I would watch him fight Ryan Bader again. I think that was a tough out for him in that fight. I think he claimed that he fought injured. Maybe putting him in there against Open St. Preux would be good. Glover Teixeira, yeah, I would watch a rematch of that as well. But there isn't a lot of big fights to make for him at this point in time, or that would be, title that would have title potential. So yeah, Quentin Rampage is back in the UFC. Am I excited? Not really. Am I looking forward to the next fight? Yeah, I'll probably watch it because I am a fan of his. He's one of those guys who's been an icon of the sport for so long. But I'm more interested in seeing how things play out with Bellator in the court system because obviously they had the injunction that was put in place against Johnson to begin with, and then that injunction was eventually thrown out, which allowed, I think earlier this week, it was announced that he's going to be allowed to fight on this card. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that and if this has any implications on the monopoly lawsuits that are sitting against the UFC at this point in time. Continue moving on with UFC 186. Michael Bisping took a unanimous decision against Stevie Dalloway, and I was hoping Stevie Dalloway got a win here because I wanted to see him. I wanted to see him kind of emerge as a contender. He was doing so well. He does so well against like the lower portion of the division, but when he fights the upper echelon, he gets in trouble. He was just stopped by Lyoto Machida. He had been being hurt early in this fight here, but he was unable to put the Brit away. He should have let Michael back up to his feet, but instead he tried to go down to the floor with him, which allowed Bisping to tie him up and to get some rest and to kind of regain his faculty. But CB is a good competitor there, and unfortunately, this is his second loss in a row. I mean, yes, I think he was stopped by Machida last and then took this fight here. So this is his second loss in a row. I don't think he's in any trouble when it comes to losing his roster spot. But he's someone who I think has some value in the organization as a whole, and I definitely wanted to see him get that win. But Michael Bisping pulled out another victory, and he's still talking about that title shot at middleweight. I don't think he ever is going to get there because he's not going to beat the guys at the top of the weight class. He's not going to be able to beat guys like Taylor. Obviously, after Chris Weidman, he's not going to beat Fernando Sosa. He's not going to be Luke Rockhold. So he's really just kind of floundering around in the group. He's 36 years of age, so he's just kind of hanging out right now. He's been exchanging wins and losses since 2011, 2012. So I don't think he has any fear of being cut from the promotion. Maybe they need to put him in there with Gegard Mousasi, Costa Philippou, one of those two guys to see how that bout plays out. He has clean boxing. I wouldn't be too I would be interested in both of those fights actually. If he fought either one of those two guys, even I think they both just got cut, but either one of those two guys, I wouldn't be opposed to facing the Brits, especially if they take it over to England, take it over to a card that would be in Europe, so it could give him an opportunity to continue building his stock there, which is where he's always had the most value to the UFC as a whole. So again, I'm not too surprised he got that win. I was looking forward and hoping that Galloway was going to be able to block the victory, but that just wasn't going to happen. Let's look at what else was impressive from last night. John Majeski got a TKO win over Shane Campbell. I don't think I caught that fight. Thomas Almeida got a TKO win over Yves Javon. That was a good fight there. Thomas Almeida, which is interesting, a lot of people haven't really been talking about, but Uriah Faber really snubbed him when he pulled out of that fight where they were supposed to. I think Almeida and Faber were supposed to fight back in. They're supposed to fight back in earlier this year, but Faber basically said, there really isn't any value in me fighting this unknown guy. So he stepped out of the fight. He backed out of it. And I'm not really gonna blame Faber for that. He is a star within the sport. He's someone that the UFC has hung their hat on, and he was right in a sense where there really isn't any value for him to step in there and take that risk. Because if he wins, obviously he was supposed to win. And Almeida was a guy who was really surgery, so he could have taken that bout. And you never know, you can get surprised every now and then. So that was something that we saw there. But Amir looked good last night when he fought Jabron. Everything, Jabron had the wrestling, but Amir was able to pick him apart with his striking, and he took that TKO stoppage right at the close of the first round. And I'm looking forward to seeing what this guy has to offer next. The featherweight division is kind of becoming one of the more interesting groups to watch in the sport, obviously because of Conor McGregor being at the top, talking the way he's talking. You got that fight coming up with Aldo, you got Edgar, you got Mendez, you have Bermudez, you have Holloway now, you have Oliveira, you have so many guys that are sitting within the top 10 of that weight class that all have the potential to be put together some interesting fights. So I would like to see what's coming next for that division there. And Thomas Almeida may be somebody worth watching in that group. I believe he is. I think we're going to see a lot of great things out of the Brazilian going forward. Patrick Cote and Joe Riggs, they fought. This is probably the more interesting thing about this fight was watching the jokes that were coming across on Twitter about this fight being from 2005, or talking about how old they are or how long they've been competing. Cote dominated the fight from start to finish. Riggs acted like he was upset when the scorecards were read, but in reality, he shouldn't have been in any way, shape, or form. It was clear that he didn't do enough to win the bout. I can't even really think about any moments where he was in control. I can think of maybe like one scramble where he ended up on top, but he ended up getting reversed. So I mean, it is what it is. I don't think that's a fight that gives Cote any leverage and really moving up in the rankings. This is just a fight to give him, he's a star in Canada. People love him there, so this is another fight to give him a opportunity to keep competing. I think they said that he's 15-1 from fighting in his home soil. So that's great for Cote. That's great for UFC to use him as a star there. Alexis Davis and Sarah Kaufman. This is probably my favorite fight from the night last night. Obviously, Davis is coming into the fight having lost to Kaufman twice before. She lost to Kaufman in her professional debut back in 2007. I think and she lost to her again back in 2011, which is probably one of the better fights of that year. And she lost to that year. That's a big sure. 2012. That was the second time they fought. That's also the night that Ronda Rousey became the women's bantamweight champion. But last night, Kaufman was probably the favorite coming in the fight, but Alexis Davis looked a lot better than her from the very start. And things got interesting when they hit the ground, and I don't remember the exact sequence, but it allowed Davis to land on top, and she had and she looked like she was going to secure a monster triangle. Kaufman was able to finally roll her into bottom, but Davis didn't let go of the triangle, and even though she was being stacked against the cage, it was the right defense for Kaufman to take. Davis switched it up to a armbar, which was like clear. It was a good deep armbar, and Kaufman was forced to tap, but the referee was actually out of position, so he didn't see it. But she was tapping for a couple of seconds before he was pulled off of her. But man, that was a very technical transition. I like what I saw. She looked very like that, like the way she flowed from not the triangle to the bottom triangle to that arm bar. That's something I love to see. As a woman, I'm a big fan of grappling, big fan of jiu-jitsu, where I compete and teach as well. So it was seeing that transition was awesome, and yeah, I'm definitely hats off to her. Uh, I'm not interested in seeing her fight Kaufman again. I also another fight, read another piece I put feature report. There are a lot of good fights out there for her. Kat Zingano, Marion Renault, Juliana Pena, Amanda Nunez, and Holly Holm. Those are the five names I see out there who could fight Alexis Davis next. And she was pummeled by Ronda Rousey last year in 16 seconds. So, like she's not going to fight for a title anytime soon. So why not give her some of these individuals who have just been beaten by Rousey as well, but are still interesting like Zingano, or put it up against guys, women like Pena and Holmes, who have the potential to become title challengers but aren't quite there yet. So yeah, Alexis Davis and Stella Kaufman was definitely my favorite fight of the night last night. I enjoyed what I saw out of both of them. I definitely loved that grappling. What else did I like last night? I didn't catch the Fight Pass fights because I was a little bit busy there. Just for Rakowski, she should be on her way out of the promotion as a whole. She has a less than stellar win loss record. That's probably only the story that comes out of the preliminaries before Davis and Kaufman. UFC 186 as a whole, I'm curious to see what the pay-per-view buy numbers were. UFC kind of pulled all they could from this event, kind of save money, which is unfortunate because that says a lot on how they feel about DJ as a champion. I hope it gets more than 200 buys. I doubt it will, but UFC 174 and the guys took 187, and this one here wasn't really promoted well either. So you never know what's going to happen, but I don't think this fight got more than 180,000 buys. I'm hoping for over 200, but we'll see in the next couple of weeks. Other news that's coming out, there's also that story about Ben Askren and Luis Santos, who they fought over in 1SC earlier, I think on Friday. They fought, and Askren was in trouble. He was unable to take Santos down. Santos was able to kind of stop his takedowns, manhandle him in a lot of those scrambles, and ended up on top of the former NCAA two-time divisional champion, or excuse me, two-time wrestling champion. A lot of people are looking at that, say, haha, they're laughing at Aspen using that as a talking point to help to say why he doesn't deserve to be in the UFC. But we've kind of seen this from Santos in the past. Someone that starts out strong and then fades in fights. I mean, the guy has, I think, 60 some odd fights on his record. Let me look real quick. He has a ridiculous number of fights. He's never competed in the UFC, I don't think. Let me check. Lee Santos. Yeah, stop him. He's 61-9, and I do not think I think he competed in Bellator, where he's lost to Ben Saunders and Ryan Ford. He defeated Dana Hornbuckle, but he has never yeah, he never competed in anything other than any other North America, or excuse me, any other American promotions outside of Bellator. Um, yeah, man, people are using this as fodder against Ben Askren. I don't think he deserves the opportunity in the UFC. And I don't know, I'm not going to take it that way. You know, Santos is definitely a veteran. He has 70 fights now, 70 fights, 7-0. So he's going to have seen, he's definitely seen some type of wrestlers that can grapple with him over that time. So I mean, I'm not surprised that he was able to show some acumen against Ben's takedown last night or Friday night. And you know, guys also they have bad nights. So what if this was a bad night for Askren? I wouldn't be afraid to pick Ben over Santos if they were, or when they do face up again, because they have to. This fight has to go to a rematch. It ended in the eye poke by Askren poked Santos in the eye. Santos couldn't see, so they're forced to stop it. But I would be interested in seeing a rematch. I would still pick Askren over that guy, and I still think Askren has value to the UFC. He's getting up there in age. He's 30, 32 now. He's 30. No, he's only 30 years old now. He'll be turning 31 later on this year, but you know, he still has some value. I hope he gets in there, gets into UFC before it's too late. But we'll see. I think that this fight doesn't hurt his stock at all, but it's just a tough opponent, and that comes at some point in everyone's career. I would be remiss to have the show today and not talk about the Pacquiao Mayweather fight that's set for Saturday. Finally, we're going to get it. The contract has been signed, everything's done, so we're finally getting these two uh, competitors in the ring. Probably the best two boxers of this generation right now. I'm not going to say all time. I still think that Ali is the greatest of all time. I still think you got to talk about Ray Roberts, and you got to talk about guys like that. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I immediately think Floyd Mayweather is the greatest of all time. But you know, he's who I'm picking in this fight here. I think that Pacquiao definitely does have the edge when it comes to aggression and you know volume when it comes to coming forward and being a bully, quote unquote, to his opponents. But he's never faced anyone with the defensive capabilities of Mayweather. Obviously, Mayweather's slowing down a little bit. He's getting up there at age 36, you know, and Father Time is undefeated. But I think he has enough in the gas tank to be able to control the pacing of this fight and edge out a decision. I don't expect it to be easy. I expect there to be points where he's in trouble, especially early in the fight. Pacquiao doesn't slow down. He doesn't tire, but I think he has been known to get into like looking for that one shot haymaker that puts somebody down. And yeah, you know, but again, there's also the business side to it. Mayweather has one fight left with Showbot. Supposedly, he's already signed a rematch with Maidana that happened in like October or November or something like that. Or September, excuse me. So yeah, I don't know if that's true or not, but you know he does have this fight and then one more that's on the contract with Showtime, so you don't really know what could happen. And there's supposed to be an expected $400 million on the table to be made this weekend, which is a hell of a lot of money. So I'm not sure. You know, I wouldn't be surprised. And it is boxing. We've seen other foolishness go down in boxing before. I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see some more at some point in time in the future. But again, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I like stirring the pot when it comes to sports business controversy, and I think this fight this weekend has a lot of potential to open that door back up. Either way, you know, Mayweather Pacquiao is finally going down. on Saturday, May 2nd. I'm going to take Mayweather in this fight. I'm looking forward to watching it. I think there's going to be a lot of perk popping circumstance going on before. Don't expect these guys to be in the ring before 11:30 with their multiple scenes of the national anthem probably going to go on, extended walks to the ring, etc., etc., etc. We'll just see what happens. But I'm looking forward to it. I love the actual combat side of it. I love the sports business side of what we're about to see this weekend. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a great weekend in sports. We also have the NBA playoffs going on. Watch those games. Steph Curry is going out of his mind over on the West Coast. LeBron James and the Cavs are doing their thing on the East or the Hawks. So it should be some good games coming up. NHL playoffs are looking fantastic. And there's been so many overtime games that have left people like screaming and cheering. So a lot of great sports are going on right now. MLB is just starting up. I'm not the biggest baseball fan, but hey, I will gladly partake in some, especially live. I plan on going to some more games this year as well. So yeah, this is a great time to be a sports fan. Don't just get into your silo of MMA, all MMA, and that's it. Because there's definitely a lot of that going on. But this is a great time to kind of venture out and enjoy other sports. So yeah, this is Raphael Garcia from MMA Ratings. I'm talking to you about the world of combat sports and everything else going on within the sporting arena. You can follow me at rgarcia_sports. I love to have those conversations there on Twitter. You can catch MMA Ratings .net. You can catch some of my pieces there as well as Adam Martin's work and Michael Ford putting out some stuff as well. Follow us all on Twitter. Follow MMA Ratings Net on Twitter as well. And come back next week. I should be here. It'll be after Mayweather Pacquiao. I won't be drinking, but I will be enjoying the fight. So yeah, come back next week. I'll be talking about that. Talking about the upcoming UFC event scheduled for next Saturday, May 10th. And yeah, let's just have a great week, everybody, and enjoy your time. Peace.